Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Data Cloud Now's live coverage of Snowflake Summit in Las Vegas, the world's largest data and AI conference. I'm now joined by Frank Slootman, Chairman and CEO of Snowflake, along with Matthew Scullion, Founder and CEO of Matillion. Gentlemen, such a pleasure having you on the program.
It's great to be here, Ryan. Thank you very much. Thank you, Frank, as well.
Of course. Looking forward to this conversation, gentlemen. Let's start off with the partnership. What is in it for customers? Frank, if you'd like to start.
Well, the partnership is important because there's things that Matillion does that Snowflake customers need. The data does not originate in Snowflake; it originates in all kinds of other, source systems. And Matillion has been instrumental, not just in accessing it, but in all the things that need to happen, before the data actually lands in Snowflake. So the data engineering track is really critical. It's the ease of use, it's the performance of it, it's the economics of it. It's not a trivial part of running a data operation. So we've really appreciated being partners with Matillion, all these years.
Matthew, would love your perspective as well.
I mean, I think everything Frank said is right. And for me, the thing that I value most perhaps about the Snowflake partnership is how well the companies line up. Snowflake's done an amazing job, a generational job of building a platform, a cloud data platform. And I think if you look at how well the industry has done in data integration, kind of in the first innings, we perhaps together didn't do a great job at building out a cohesive platform orientated towards making life easy for the customer and making them as productive as possible. Matillion's the data productivity cloud. It's a platform about making data teams wildly productive at delivering use cases and workloads on Snowflake. And so a platform for data productivity, along with a platform for the data cloud, it's a great partnership. And that's why we share over 1,100 customers together. Many of them are here this week. Snowflake are investors in Matillion, which we're very happy and proud about. It's a great partnership.
Gentlemen, great to have your collective perspectives on the partnership. So many exciting things are happening with Snowflake and Matillion. Matthew, some exciting news recently announced with Matillion. Can you talk to us about the newly launched Matillion Data Productivity Cloud and what excites you about this next chapter?
Very recent. We launched the Data Productivity Cloud here at Snowflake Summit yesterday morning. So the Data Productivity Cloud is, we think, what the industry has been asking for. It's an integrated, cohesive platform that gives data teams everything they need to move, transform, and orchestrate data in the cloud and on Snowflake. We've been working towards this moment for a number of years. Today, tens of thousands of people use Matillion's technology to make their data business ready faster. And we've sunk all that experience and user feedback into this new product. There's a couple of design goals we were working really hard to meet. One was to make it exquisitely easy to launch, like Snowflake is, right? And we called that 10 minutes to wow. In the event, we did a little better than that. It's about 3 and 4 minutes. But you can go from our website, matillion.com, to having a working live data pipeline, not just movement either, movement, transformation, orchestration, in 3 or 4 minutes. And as you do that, it will also stand up a Snowflake data warehouse for you to make sure you've got somewhere to put your data. It's unlimitedly scalable. And we've also built it in a way that we call everyone ready, which means that it suits the low-code, no-code visual user, which we think is really important because it gets more players on the field in terms of who can make data business ready. But it also supports data engineers and high-code users using technologies like dbt. So we're really proud to launch it here at Snowflake Summit. Snowflake is our launch partner with it. Over 150 people have signed up already, so that's quite a good sign with only a few hours under its belt, and yeah, we're really excited about it.
Glad to hear it's happening at Snowflake Summit. The buzz is all around us. Top of mind across the board is Gen AI and LLMs at Summit here. For both of you, how will AI change the role of data teams in business? Frank, would love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I'm not sure that it changes them fundamentally. It just amps it up to coin a term. It's becoming far more important than it already was. And the reason is you need a data strategy in order to have an AI strategy. You cannot skip your data strategy and move straight to AI. What are you going to do? Just kind of flip a switch and just wait for the insights to come in. It's a great vision, but the reality of data is it's a heck of a lot of work, underneath the covers that needs to take place. The data needs to be organized, needs to be optimized, needs to be curated, needs to be trusted, needs to be sanctioned, right? We want to have good results. We need to have, good inputs. So in that sense, the role of the data engineer has become, 10x more important than it already was, right? So hence the importance, people like Matillion, to help them, basically take up their game, where they can sort of meet that challenge and that standard.
Data engineers have become the coolest people in town, right? It's everybody wants to do AI, but the enabling work that we have to do to make AI happen, exactly as Frank said, is making the data, we call it making the data business ready, but really it's making the data AI ready. And in a typical use case, that's 80% of the work. Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, no, look, this morning in the keynote for the developers, right, it's showing data engineers building and deploying applications. When did you last see that? Okay, your data engineers like, hey, you mind your own business. Data is your world. Software engineers, you leave all that stuff to us. No more, because we bring the entire stack, in terms of Snowpark, programmability layer, Streamlit, the visualization animation layer, the ability to deploy. So it's a very different world. We have function, we have data, but in the cloud, function and data live very, very close together. That's a big change from where we've been.
Gentlemen, it's been great to get your perspectives on the current state of the industry. Now I want to look towards the future. What's next for Snowflake and Matillion? Matthew, let's start with you.
So there's so much exciting stuff to talk about in this area. We just touched on AI, and when we're in a world where suddenly our parents and grandparents are asking us about ChatGPT, the demand for data use cases and workloads is growing logarithmically. But our ability and resource levels to make data business or AI ready in response to that isn't growing. We've not suddenly got 4 times as many data engineers. That presents an amazing opportunity to try and square that circle, to make that algebra stack up by radically improving the productivity of data teams. And that's why our company exists and why we're so excited about the Data Productivity Cloud, even more excited than I am about this microphone. Specifically, what we've been talking about as Summit, the Snowpark containers is huge for us. Our unlimited scalability technology works by bursting the workload of your data pipelines onto containers. Getting that into Snowpark containers just massively simplifies the security and governance story for our customers, so we're really excited about that. Very excited to be a launch partner on native apps. I mentioned earlier that I think in the kind of first innings of cloud data integration, we've ended up with a slightly fragmented industry where you go here to load the data, here to transform the data, a load of skills to stitch it together. Simplifying that into the platform and putting, for instance, the data movement into Snowflake with native apps, that's huge for customers, and so we're excited about that as well. And AI, of course, everything has got the word AI. How do Snowflake and also Matillion become part of the reference architecture for how the most ambitious data teams in the world deliver AI in their organizations? That's what I'm excited about. Hardly anything at all, right?
And Frank, when you look out on the horizon, what do you see?
Yeah, let me give Matthew some props here, okay? Because we met like a year ago at an Amazon re-event, and he asked me, you may not remember this, but you asked me, like, what do I do, to align better, with Snowflake? What can I do? And I said at the time, you need to become a native app, and because you fully lean in and you create a seamless experience, and you avoid these, fractured tool chain type of issues and all these governance violations that are implicit in it and so on. He says, you're going to get, much better draft of our footprint and everything that we do. And, to your credit, you did exactly that. Not everybody does that, right? Fully leaning in to the Snowflake platform. 85% of its customers are also Snowflake customers. It takes some conviction on the part of an entrepreneur and the CEO to say, you know what, instead of being in 50 places, I'm going to pick my horse and I'm going to set in on all of it and run it and ride it, and that's what you've done. And I find that it admirable, and it's a message to everybody here on the show floor.
And it works as well. I mean, you and I were having dinner last night. I should point out this wasn't a romantic one-on-one. There were other people there. But there was a bunch of our joint customers there, Western Union, who this time last year I think we had up on this stage actually talking to about their use case, a joint Snowflake Matillion customer. EDF we had here yesterday. And one of the things that they talk about is the deep integration between the two platforms. EDF was saying, look, we're pretty bullish about it. We want fewer products, not more. Our data productivity platform is Matillion and our data cloud is Snowflake. And so it makes sense for me to lean into it. The other thing you asked for was an SAP connector, and I built that as well.
Yeah.
Listen, gentlemen, it is a true partnership. Congratulations to both Matillion and Snowflake. Thank you so much for joining me on Data Cloud Now.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Ryan.
And for the audience watching, I'm Ryan Green with Data Cloud Now. We'll see you soon.